Brother, stop begging for respect and just walk away. If you, in your life, play the approval seeker, if you're constantly seeking approval from people, if you're constantly changing your behavior to suit other people, if you're acting in ways that aren't authentic to you, if you're adapting yourself to suit what you think the other people want you to want to hear from you, the truth is you will never actually experience the respect, the desire, the admiration, and the true connection that you seek from other people as long as you play in this game. I get the suspicion that a part of you knows this. Maybe you've watched a shitload of YouTube videos, you know this on a logical level, but it's hard to break out of it. It's not your fault. This pattern of approval seeking, of validation seeking, of in your behavior and worldview, begging for respect from people, this is not your fault. If you think back to your childhood, what did you experience growing up? Were you celebrated for being yourself? Were you celebrated for being truthful, authentic? Were all of your feelings, your anger, your sadness, your grief, your jealousy, like whatever the feelings is, was the full emotional spectrum respected, appreciated, and held space for by your caregivers, by your dad, by your mum, by your teachers at school? Was your true self, was your authentic self celebrated in school, or were you bullied? Did you have some experiences growing up that told you, either directly or indirectly or subtly, that you had to be different? You couldn't be yourself. You had to change who you are in some way, or people might not like you. And it was all based on a faulty premise. You are not enough. You are not enough. You are not enough. And I'll tell you something right now, mate, it is absolute bullshit. But as long as you live as this nice guy character, people might like you, people might tolerate you, you might have fairly pleasant connections with people. But the true, deep brotherhoods, the true, deep, intense, passionate connections with women, the kinds of connections where you feel seen on a soul level, that light your soul on fire, the kind of connections that make life genuinely fulfilling and genuinely worth it, they will always elude you. You will never experience them. But here's the double-edged sword, here's the problem. You feel shame about who you are, so you constructed this nice guy identity because you think that if you take the mask off, people are going to see behind the identity, people are going to see behind the mask, and they're going to reject you. So you always wear the mask. But the problem is, through making that assumption, you never take the mask off, so you never give reality a chance to show you that there are people out there who would love you for who you are. But you don't ever give reality a chance to prove you wrong. That's what shame does. It makes you hide who you really are. You've been playing this nice guy role for long enough that you don't even know who you are. You don't even know it's a role. You don't even know that it's been fake this entire time, so you don't know who you are. Just because habit has created this in your life. Habit has fooled you into thinking, into not knowing what's normal anymore. When I start working with a new guy, 9 times out of 10, we start working on assertive communication. It's very important to do this. And when I start challenging the man I'm working with to start communicating assertively, he thinks he's being an asshole. Let's say he's at work and he's saying, sorry, I can't speak for 5 minutes, can we speak later? He thinks he's being mean to people. Why? Because habituation has told him, has completely warped his reality on what real communication, assertive, authentic communication even is. If you've been anxious your entire life, you've been habituated, your nervous system has been habituated to being anxious. So peace feels unusual or even threatening to you. Another thing that keeps the nice guy, this nice guy persona, where you're begging for respect from people, bending over backwards, changing who you are. The third thing that keeps this going is anxiety and low emotional tolerance. You struggle to tolerate intense feelings, don't you? Maybe, mate, you're an emotionally sensitive person. And these days, that's a scary thing for a man to admit. In all this Instagram bollocks about being an alpha male and stuff. I just want to highlight to you the subtle forms of disrespect that you might be enduring, right? Because the nice guy trap doesn't invite respect. The nice guy trap signals to everybody that you have low self-esteem, that you're not going to stick up for yourself, and that you are that people can get away with anything with you. So if people consistently disrespect you in public, if people make jokes at your expense, and if people expect you to do favors, and when you sort of push back on it, they start guilt tripping you, if people consistently show up late for things, if people don't listen to you, let's say you're in a group situation and you start talking and no one pays attention to you. If you're in an intimate relationship, she criticizes you in public. She, in some ways, emasculates you. If she starts mothering you, if she judges you excessively, if you feel like you're this small and you have to constantly walk on eggshells around everybody, then brother, for God's sake, it's time to let go of this nice guy mask. But one thing I want to say, I want to just give you a few things to take away today to stop you from begging for respect. The first one, man, is to start seeking your own approval, right? I want you to start seeking your own approval. What would make you happy in this social situation? What would entertain you? You're not bending over backwards to entertain everybody else. What would make you laugh? What would make this environment and this setting enjoyable for you? You're on a first date. What do you want to talk about? What are you curious about this woman? What do you need to know to see whether she's a good partner and you have space for her in your life? See, you're flipping the script. The nice guy says, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get people to like me. You flip the script, you seek self-approval and you say, how can this serve me? I'm going to ask and conduct myself in a way that serves me in some way. Very, very powerful when you make that shift. The second thing I want you to do, brother, is to build your emotional discomfort tolerance. If you cannot tolerate anxiety, uncertainty, confrontation, if you can't tolerate that stuff, you will never be authentic. You will never communicate authentically. You will always revert back to habituation and you'll just consistently people please because you can't tolerate strong feelings in yourself. So there's a couple of ways to do this. You've got your bog standard nervous system regulation stuff like breath work, cold showers, and physical training. I do all three, game changer. But I also want you to integrate the principle of baby steps. I don't want you to go from 0 to 1,000 straight away. Let's say you're wanting to improve your dating life. Well, I'm not going to say to you, go out and approach a group of incredibly attractive strangers and ask them all out on a date, because that risks re-traumatizing and experiencing something very unpleasant, which will tell your little boy in your mind that you were right all along. You actually are broken, which is not true. So what you want to do is do baby steps. Make eye contact with women in public. I do this with my clients all the time. I say, no, you're not going to approach anyone right now. You're going to go out and you're going to make eye contact, intentional, soft-eyed eye contact, but very piercing eye contact. Not staring, but very intentional for 3 to 5 seconds. You're going to do that first. So this is the whole, what we call exposure therapy. You build yourself up gradually. And how that looks like for you, that's for another video. And the third thing, man, I want you to remember is if you are bending over backwards to get the respect from people, but consistently being disrespected in great and small ways, walk away. Ha! We got there eventually. Walk away. Be willing to walk away. The most powerful negotiating position you can ever come from in any situation is the capacity to walk away. If you do not have the capacity to walk away, you will compromise your values. You will compromise your opinions, your authenticity, your identity, who you really are. You'll compromise everything that makes you, you, because you cannot walk away. The amount of men I've met in my coaching practice that are only with their wife or girlfriend because they don't think they could get any better is staggering. That's a very weak position to be coming from. So do what you need to do to be able to walk away. I often say to men in their dating lives, in their dating phase, cultivate options. Don't throw all your eggs in one basket. Become an attractive man who is attractive to a wide variety of different women, so then he can choose. He can choose who he wants to spend his life with. Practice solitude. Practice going away and having solo trips, solo hiking trips, solo travel. Go away, be by yourself. It's a superpower to be comfortable in your own company. So brother, stop begging. You don't deserve to have to beg for approval and respect from people. When you let go of the mask and you start actually showing up authentically, the right people will enter your life, I promise you. But before that happens, the people who are not meant to be in your life will leave, and you may be lonely for a while. You may experience solitude for a while. Stay with it. Better things are coming.